So this video has been through rewrite after rewrite after rewrite. I've completely deleted 2 separate versions of this video because I just didn't even know where to start and I didn't know where to finish. And so at this point, on the 3rd iteration, I think it's better to just go through my experience with this game rather than trying to section it out, because I just don't even see how that's possible. And I think the most interesting thing is that this is like an anomaly to me, because I swear to God that this was requested by the person who made it, and I swear to God that I saved the message that they sent me telling me to play it, but for the life of me, I can't find the screenshot, and for the life of me, I can't find the DM from the person who sent it in. So maybe it wasn't the developer of the game who sent me to play this, maybe it was just a psychopath, I don't know. But I just can't see any reason why I would have seen this through unless it was directly the person who claims to have made it telling me to play it, because just like, oh boy. Anyways, this is Refinery Caves 2. One of the strangest experiences I have ever had playing it. You know what? Scratch that. It's not one of. This is the strangest experience I have ever had playing a Roblox game, period. And because of that, I'm going to be laying out that experience in video format for you. I hope you enjoy. Starting up Refinery Caves 2, and I didn't really have too many expectations. In the past, I've played a couple of these sort of tycoon mining games, and so I didn't think it was going to be anything that special comparatively, but I figured if someone who watches my channel is recommending me a game like this, then there will probably be something special about it. Logging on, you get a couple of save files, and when you click on those, you get the choice of 3 different professions. Now here's the thing. Technically, these professions don't really matter. They provide passive buffs to that specific profession, but regardless of whichever one you pick, you can still technically do the other 2. So if you pick to be a fisher, for example, you can still mine and break trees. Either way, I thought it would be ironic if I picked the fishing spec because of, you know, my whole thing with fishing games, and so I picked that and started up the game. This boots up the tutorial of the game, where the first thing that I did was jump off the cliff and try to kill myself. It didn't work. It's here that the game would teach us about the individual mechanics of the game, of which there are basically 3 of them and nothing else. The first is when it comes to mining, which is extremely straightforward. You walk up to a rock, you click, it raises a bar, and once the bar is full, you click again and it will hit. Depending on the power of your hit is how many hits it'll take to break a rock. After you strike, you have to wait a small cooldown and then you can try again. When it comes to felling trees, this is extremely similar when it comes to game mechanics. Once again, you go up to the tree, you click, it fills a bar, you click when it gets to the top, and when you click it enough, the tree will chop down. Moving forward, we now learn how to fish. And the question on everyone's mind is, are the fishing mechanics better than all of these shitty fishing games? And the answer is no. No, they aren't. Once again, we're clicking and filling up a bar. Frankly, I don't even really know what this is for. It's not like it increases the range of the cast, because you pick the range of the cast before you even fill up the bar. So frankly, I don't know. Either way, you cast out your line, wait, a fish will get on the hook, and then you hit either A or D depending on which way the fish is facing, and you just wait for a bar to fill up, and if it fills up, you win. Congratulations. It's really, really bare bones. After you complete the fishing tutorial, it teaches you some swimming mechanics that won't come up ever again. I wish I was joking. They literally don't come up ever again. Maybe I missed a lot. We'll find out after I post this. But, I mean, they're here, I suppose. Now we get on to learning about refining resources, which seemed initially like it was going to be an integral part of the game. I would later learn that that was not really the case, but regardless, when you break open rocks and whatnot, they'll initially drop in their unrefined form, and you need to pick up the rocks or trees or whatever, move them into a machine which will refine them and make them more valuable. Now, how you move these things around is yet another system of the game that's, it's something. Basically, the way that you pick up and move things is that you click and hold on them, and then they'll sort of hover in front of your character, and you can move them up, down, left, and right, etc. This isn't necessarily a bad system, but it becomes one very quickly, and we will get there, trust me. After selling all the stuff I refined for $0 whole, the tutorial concludes, and I'm thrown out on a dock. Alright, well I guess that makes sense since I picked the fishing profession. So there's some other boys over here fishing it up, and you can fish things right into the sell zone. So I get right to fishing. I get right to, okay. So the range on the fishing rod is absolutely fucking pitiful. These people can cast their lines pretty far. I don't have that luxury and can fish like maybe 2 feet from the dock. I don't know who made this choice, but bad call. Either way, I jank it out eventually so I can actually fish from the right area, and we get to work. After like 6 or 7 minutes of this, I go and I sell my stuff for a comfortable $128. Now, my initial thought process was that $128 was chump change. I would later learn that thinking that was a big mistake. My next stop was right into the fishing shop because I wanted to see what stuff I could buy and how much it was going to cost. And here I can actually say a good thing about the game, which is the shop system, which I think is pretty neat. Basically, when you want to buy something from the shop, you click and drag it off of the shop's shelves and bring it to the front desk where that's where you actually buy it. In here you can buy all sorts of stuff, things for your tycoon that I don't currently have, as well as boats and better fishing rods. I figured since my fishing rod is beyond awful and literally can't go 2 feet in front of me, I would buy a fishing rod with the money that I had. So, iron fishing rod, $90 down the drain, but I've got a better fishing rod. I once again went back to fishing for a little bit, but I got bored because, well, I'm basically doing what amounts to nothing. I'm just standing still and hitting A or D every once in a while. Riveting stuff. So I guess we gotta see what the rest of the game has to offer, right? And that's gonna be a lot of walking. A lot of walking. When people say that games are walking simulators, they don't have shit on Refinery Caves 2. Because this game, holy shit. I walked past the general store assuming there wasn't really going to be much in there that I didn't already see at the previous store. Saw a little selling area that you could use to sell different ores if you had a pickaxe. And I just sort of kept walking because my assumption was, hey, it's a tycoon game, so if I get to a tycoon, I could probably claim wherever mine is, right? Well, I would walk, and walk some more. Would I find a tycoon? No. So I decided to chalk the whole thing, reset, and go back to the general store. I did that, and where's my fishing rod? Where's my fishing rod? You motherfucker, you gotta be kidding me. So as it turns out, if you reset, it just deletes all of the tools except for the default. Why? What the fuck? Why would you program it that way? It's not like there are enemies in this game that are going to kill you. The way that you die is that you somehow drown or you kill yourself. Those are the only ways that you're gonna die, and yet you delete my tools if I die with the money that I spent on them? Are you fucking kidding me? So I went back to the docks pretty pissed off, fished a little bit more with my shitty fishing rod since the game took away my slightly less shitty fishing rod for no reason. And eventually I was like, surely I'm doing something wrong, right? Because this game is called Refinery Caves 2 and I'm fishing. So fishing's probably incomplete. I bet the real way you're supposed to play this game is by mining. So I reset completely, I went back to the main menu, and I decided to pick the miner job since that would have a talent directly related to mining, and it's not like I had been playing very much on the fishing slot anyway, so who cares? And when I spawned in as a miner, I got put right next to the convenience store where I pretty much just was. Okay, I guess we need to get some money, right? So I walked over to the nearest rock, broke it open, and this is when I had a realization. The only way to sell things is to bring them to a sell zone. And from the looks of it, there's one sell zone for rocks that's relatively close to me, and if I want to get over there to sell the rocks I just broke, I would have to do it one at a time. Oh my god. You've got to be kidding me. Does it sound fun to you? Bringing a rock from point A to point B one at a time and do that 4 times? Because I'll tell you, it doesn't sound very much fun to me. Now, obviously, I didn't want to do that, and the little cell area was pretty far away, so I was like, screw it, I'm gonna go to the land agency. Maybe that's where I can get my tycoon, and maybe if I get that, then I'll have a better chance of, you know, moving stuff around. Maybe I can sell stuff there, who knows? So I go over there, I say I want to buy some land, and it's locked. I need $100 to buy the start of my tycoon. What the f***? I'm sorry, but you guys have played tycoon games, right? How many tycoon games have you played where in order to claim your tycoon, you needed to pay in-game money? How many games have you played like that? I haven't played a single one. Is this a normal thing? I hope it's not, because what? What? All right, so whatever. We're gonna have to put in some menial labor in order to get this started. So I go back, I grab one of the pieces of iron that I mined from earlier, and I figure, at the very least, if I'm going over there, it's not like this slows me down anyway. So I pick it up, and I walk all the way over to Silver's sell zone in order to sell this piece of iron. I get there, and I'm like, hey, I wanna sell this. And they're like, sure, a raw iron? $10. I'll give you $10 for that. I need 100 just to even begin getting my property. Jesus fucking Christ. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to sell this for $10, and I was taught about refining earlier, so maybe I can find somewhere to refine this? No, I could not find anywhere that you could refine the materials for free, so I guess that just wasn't an option. I found a quest to get some guy, like, wood or something. I won't be doing it, but yeah, I guess I'm $10 richer now. Let's go. Now, fortunately, I guess there was no more idiots stuck in the same predicament as I was, because there were a few rocks around the area of Silver's sell zone that I could use. So I started breaking those and bringing the rocks over one by one in order to get enough money to buy a plot of land. Now, as I was doing this, I did have a bit of a realization, which was, why the hell would I bother buying a plot of land if I'm not gonna get anything there, and knowing this game, it's not gonna matter. So it'll probably make more sense to buy a vehicle first, because then I won't have to be carrying these things one by one, or do some sort of jank pushing thing where I push multiple rocks at the same time. So I was like, okay, I'll save up enough money to buy a car first, and then I'll worry about the plot of land. No big whoop. I farmed up $254, which was enough for the $200 cheapest car in the shop, which, thank God, it's extremely cheap, otherwise I might have lost my mind. I grabbed it, went to the front desk, bought it, brought it outside, and figured, all right, we're gonna summon it, we're gonna get things started. I hit E, and nothing happens. It doesn't work. Why? Why doesn't it work? I just spent like, oh, no. So I can't for the life of me get it to work, and then some guy rolls up next to me and he's like, hey, yo man, you need a property in order to open that. Oh, go fucking figure. You know what would have been nice? If the game told me that I needed a property in order to make the fucking thing work. Otherwise, I wouldn't have bought this first, and I would have bought a goddamn property. Or, I don't know, here's a novel thought. Maybe don't make people pay $100 to get a fucking property in this video game. This isn't real life. It's not like in real life you could go out and buy a big ass plot of land for $100. That's not how life works. So who gives a shit if you just give people the plots of land? Why the hell do you need to pay $100 to do that? That's asinine. So great, I've wasted my fucking time. Now I have this big old box that might as well be an over-glorified paperweight. It doesn't do shit. You know, at least it's a big box. I can use it to push the rocks better towards the fucking sell zone instead of just using the car that's inside the box. Once again, farming up some more bullshit. I get my $100 and I can finally buy a property. Imagine that. Now, after signing the contract for full control of my soul, which as if, you know, I have one of those anyway, it teleports me straight to my property so I don't need to walk there, and grants me a fucking car. It gives me a car. So I paid $100 for a property and a car, despite the fact that I just paid $200 for a car I couldn't use. Give me a goddamn break. So now I have to drive all the way back because, mind you, since it teleported me away from the car that I bought already. So I go back, I drive, grab the car, put it in the car I already have, drive all the way back to my base, and we can place down the car spawner so that way I can spawn the actual car that I paid for. I just want you to understand that this entire saga has probably taken place over the course of roughly 35-40 minutes. It's been 35-40 minutes and I'm just unlocking the ability to pretty much kind of play the game like a normal person instead of walking around pushing rocks like an idiot. So with a car in my possession, things get a hell of a lot easier. Now I can break rocks and put the rocks in my car and not have to push them 8 miles. With this, I can mine up some more materials that presumably will end up being worth more than the stuff that I was mining up earlier. Now, I still don't have a furnace, so I can't refine any of these materials, but whatever. I'll get enough money to get one of those eventually. At some point, I decided to buy a slightly better pickaxe. I wanted the much better pickaxe, but I didn't have the money for it, and this normal one was so astronomically shit that I just wanted anything. I'll make sure not to kill myself this time, otherwise I might not have that pickaxe anymore. Now, with the new pickaxe, once again, we farm up some more stuff, sell some more stuff, and finally I can get a basic furnace. Grabbing one of these, my assumption is that this is going to significantly increase my output capabilities and make me make a hell of a lot more money. This would prove to be, wrong. Just wrong. It would prove to be wrong. So while I don't have the exact numbers of how pointless this was, this car full of cargo that you're seeing right now is worth $234. This is all unrefined material. And this car full of slightly less material, granted, is only worth $201. So, what the f is going on here? Refining materials is a pain in the ass. If I want to refine materials, I need to get all of them into my car, then go to my base, take each individual one out of the car one by one and put it into the refinery machine, and then go to the other side, move the car again, take each individual object once again out of the refinery and back into my car, then drive back to here and sell all of the stuff. Or alternatively, I could just mine it, put it in my car and drive it over here and make the exact same, if not more money. So why the f would I even bother refining my shit if it doesn't help me at all? I don't know. I don't know. I literally don't know. Maybe this is a bug. Maybe people are gonna go to the comments and be like, Eclipse, you're an idiot. Refining's great. It's super cool. You're just a moron. I don't have a clue. But I can't even refine half the shit anyway. Some of the stuff I pick up, it doesn't work in my furnace. Go figure. Why stuff right next to my base suddenly just can't be refined by the furnace I have? I don't know. I don't care. Either way, I mindlessly chip away some more. I'm playing this game where I'm just like sitting here and clicking every once in a while and driving in circles. It's some absolutely riveting stuff, I can assure you, but eventually I got bored. Like, there's barely anything I'm doing, and everything I am doing is so incremental and slow that I feel like I can't make it go any faster, because it's not like there's automation. I still need to go out there and break rocks, so that's not an option. So f it. Let's go see what the rest of the game has to offer, right? There's an entire island to explore, and it says there's a ferry, so maybe I can take that somewhere else. So that's exactly what I do. I follow the ferry instructions as far as I can, and I never found a ferry. I don't know if it just doesn't spawn. I don't know if it's bugged. I don't know if I have to do something special. No clue. But I got to, I assume, where it spawned, and that just wasn't an option. But while I was over there, I did find entrance to caves. And hey, this game is called Refinery Caves 2, right? So maybe there's gonna be something down here. I'm not holding my breath though, let's be honest. And this foray into the caves has to be, like I said at the beginning of the video, the strangest thing I've ever experienced in a game. It is just so weird. I can't. So I drive into this super ominous cave system that's very dark, and as I get further in, eventually the wind starts to pick up. Yeah, wind inside of the cave. And so there's a big old sandstorm. There's effects going on my screen, and quite honestly, it's pretty cool. The sandstorm's powerful enough to straight up knock you down in here. I found this glowing rock and I decided to jump out and try to hit it. Maybe I can break it or activate a switch or something. I hit it loads of times, but eventually it stopped glowing and then it was just too sturdy and I couldn't break it anymore. Frankly, I have no idea what's going on here and still have no idea what's going on here. It was just weird. So I jumped back in my car and continued on, eventually finding what seemed to be ruins of some sort of civilization. This is a mining game, right? So I continue to make my way through the ruins of this little civilization, and as I get further, the screen turns green? Layer 2, Lush Valley. A whole forest hidden underground away from the radiating sun. This is the second layer. What may lie ahead? Again, this is a mining game, right? So I make my way into this new area of the game and it looks stunning, like no other way around it. This is a really, really cool area with a ton of work and effort put into it. Comparing it to the very bland and standard beginning of the game, and it's not even close. It's like someone completely different worked on this, which is entirely possible, but like, what? So as I continue on, I find some green ore, and I assume since it's down here, it's probably worth a little bit. So I take some pit stops, decide to mine up some of that. And as I go on, I'm just dumbfounded by this like super cool and interesting level design for a game where level design borderline doesn't mean anything. Like all of this work went into this, but why? It's like they were making a completely different game and then just gave up. I don't know. And as I got further and got to the end of the zone and down to layer 3, I was greeted with the King's Great Halls. You arrive to this layer, the cold chill goes through your spine. A cautious sense of danger wraps around you. So, just to be clear, we are playing a mining game, right? This is a mining game. My brain is broken. I drive forward and I get to a point where my car can't go any further. So I hop out, make my way through, and coming soon. It just stops here. It's got this like weird ancient city mythical aesthetic. I don't know what's going on here, but it sure as hell doesn't scream to me mining and hitting trees simulator, that's for sure. I was just like dumbfounded at this point in my playthrough. Absolutely dumbfounded. Because the last thing I expected while getting pissed off and frustrated and playing this borderline pointless game full of frustrating systems was coming across some beautiful level design for a game where that level design basically means f all nothing. I don't understand. I decided since I was already down here, I'd explore a little bit of this little luscious area, and at one point I did end up stumbling across a quest from a wizard, probably, which is pretty funny. Now, they tasked me with bringing them 20 flowers of power that are located all around this zone, and yeah, there's no way in Sam hell that I'm wandering around this place looking for 20 flowers. Now, as far as I know, if I did do that, maybe the game would turn into f***ing Doom. With this kind of stuff going on, I don't have a goddamn clue. But I did not have the patience nor the time for that, so I wouldn't be doing it. Either way, I went all the way back the way I came and eventually got my way back to Silver's cell zone. And we're in luck because, surprise, surprise, a whole bunch of rare shit was worth $1.59 thousand. Hell yeah, that's way more than I've ever had before. I figured if there's this big old cave underneath the first island of the game, it at least seems like there's other islands in the game. So that circles us all the way back to the beginning of the video where I ended up in this Nautic Finds shop. I went back there and decided to buy a boat to see what else is out here. I jumped in my boat, looked across the horizon, and sure enough, 2 islands awaited me. I surveyed the first one from the shore and decided probably not worth my time. It didn't look like there was anything of note, but the other one looked like there was going to be stuff of note, so that's where I was going. After an astronomically long drive across the ocean to this other area, I did end up making landfall. Welcome to the Rosewell Island. All right, so we're here. I jumped out of my boat after I definitely didn't beach it, and I had a realization that I did not have a car. And yeah, if you think that I'm going to be traversing the entire island without my car and walking, just look at this. Just look at this. Does this look good? No, it doesn't look good. So I'm not f***ing doing it. I called it quits. I shut the game off. That's where our story concludes. But can you blame me? Like, what even just happened? What just happened? I'm still at a loss for words, and I don't even know how to end this video. Like I said, 3 different video types, all wildly different. Other 2 are gone completely. I'm not doing it again. What is this game?